So good evening, friends. Anish, do I have 3 minutes or 5 minutes or what?
You have 30 seconds.
I knew that. Okay, friends. So what I would like to talk about is the mantra. No, I'm not talking about life's mantra. Even mighty saints couldn't talk about life's mantra. They couldn't define life in a mantra. I will talk about the business mantra that has helped me remain focused as a retailer and as a CEO in the last more than a decade. And my mantra, I call them 5 pillars. That's top line, bottom line, expansion/growth, human resource development, and customer delight. I believe everything else is merely coincidental. So, I will talk about each of them one by one. Let me start with the top line. Are we talking about top line at any cost? No, certainly not. Every organization needs a top line, but not at any cost. My mantra or my way of achieving the top line is, there are 2 things which are extremely important as per me. One is your great quality product. And when I say product, it includes services also, whatever product they have in services. And the second is innovation. We all have started talking about innovation, and we started understanding innovation as digital innovation only. But I'm not talking about only digital innovation. Innovation has to be across the board. So the first pillar for me for top line is quality and innovation. Second is bottom line. So don't jump to conclusions. When I'm talking about bottom line, I'm not talking about profitability alone. I'm talking about cash flows as well. All of us have learned it the hard way during the past 2 years, when profitability was actually not on the radar for any retailer, is my belief. We all were thinking how to sustain this period, and hence cash flow became very, very important. My way or how I manage my cash flow is, cash flow, of course, we know that whatever decision we take, cash flow becomes an important part of that decision. So how I do it, whenever the decision is to be taken, I think, or I ask myself, if I were to spend this money for my personal use, and the money, of course, is limited, then whether I would invest that money or no. And voila, I get that answer immediately, and that is when I take the decision for the business as well. Third point is expansion/growth. I don't think there is any organization who doesn't want to expand or grow. It's clear that stagnant water starts stinking after some time. So you have to keep expanding, you have to keep growing. There is a saying that says, even if you are on the right track, you will get run over very fast if you just sit there. So you have to keep moving. With this, expansion becomes so important that we can't ignore it. But again, the question is, are we talking about expansion just for the sake of expansion? Do we want to grow like jungle? It becomes an erratic expansion, and the jungle can catch fire anytime. For me, expansion means planned expansion with process-driven expansion methodology. So the third point for me is planned expansion, plan it in advance, but then don't wait to implement that plan. Don't just keep making the plans, implement them and achieve it with a lightning speed. Fourth important factor, human resource development. All of us know that human resource is the most important asset of any organization. Now, a lot of us keep talking about it. We need to understand that motivation alone is not sufficient for human resources. For all of us, we need something more than motivation. Motivation, of course, is important, but that alone cannot work. You need money, you need training. So what you have to do is identify the talent within your organization, train them, give them growth opportunities, bring them up to the mark so that they can grow within the organization, whether vertically or horizontally or both. Now, there is a special minute point here that we can't impose growth on people. There are people who could be on different stages of their Maslow's hierarchy in the life. There is a possibility that I want to impose growth on somebody, but that person may not be on that stage of Maslow's hierarchy. So we have to identify the performing person. We need to identify the commitment of that person or the colleague, commitment to the organization and commitment to himself or herself also. So that's important. And the fifth point is customer delight. Now this happens to be the goal. You have the right product. You innovate consistently and constantly. You have the right locations. You have the right manpower, motivated, growth-oriented manpower. But if you don't achieve that customer delight, none of the other pillars will work. So the customer delight is the most important factor. Now the question is whether customer delight is so difficult to get or it is unachievable. I don't think so. No, certainly I'm certainly not saying that you have to stand and walk on your heads to bring that customer delight. And in fact, customers are perhaps not even interested to understand our ability to walk on our heads. However, what will be really, really helpful is to walk that extra mile, to deliver the customer service during the sale and after sale. So my fifth mantra or the fifth pillar is customer delight through customer service. So these are my 5 pillars, my business mantra. I hope it might help some of the other people standing or sitting in the hall. And that's all about this. Thank you very much, guys.